My roommate has a device on in the other room, and it's kind of loud, and the walls are sort of thin, so that's one of the background noises that I can't control. And then the other one is the neighbors got a loud truck going by, so I apologize for both of them. Some things just aren't in my control. I would like to apologize in advance for any misspelled words in this video. I'm massively dyslexic, and so I have a lot of misspelling errors. Please be kind and don't make a big deal of it. The idea is just to get the point across.
That is why V has me. I have to read stuff to her all the time.
This will be the fourth part of the gingerbread person poster version 4.0, and today we'll be looking at sexuality or sexual attraction, and this is
Sexuality is easy. All we need to know is that humans like to.
Hold on there, Cindy. Don't finish that line. This is YouTube, and we can't use adult language like that. We could use the word sex as long as we're referring to one's body. But if it's in reference to adult fun time, we cannot. It is going to make this video very difficult.
Well, I am not using adult fun time. That is stupid. What other words can we use here?
Well, we can use the words like kiss, hug, intimacy, and other clinical terms. We can use sexual activity as well, as long as it's also in the clinical context. Unless I've misread the policies, clauses, or whatever, and if I did, I'm sure YouTube will tell me about it.
That is stupid, but whatever. Sexuality is just based on who the humans want to kiss.
Well, you're kind of right. However, that kind of thinking is an oversimplified way of thinking about it, and it can do some serious damage to a lot of people. So let's get back to the gingerbread poster, or the gingerbread person poster, whatever. Let's get into this. Here is the gingerbread person poster, and here's the poster after our changes in the first three parts. Now in this part, we will be looking at the sexual attraction part of the poster. I do not really like the idea of sexual attraction here. Not to say it's not helpful, but I think it's not very accurate. Of course, we did add the further way, but it still does not add much sexuality. Like the paragraph, we can think about all these things as existing on a continuum, where a lot of people might see themselves as existing where somewhere between 0 and 100 on each, but we still find the sexual attraction scale to be unclear, damaging to me. It sounds more like sexuality to me, but let's look at the scale here anyway. Circle with the line through it means they have a lack of sexual attraction, and at the furthermost point of the ray means they have an abundance of sexual attraction. What does this even mean? I don't like this for many reasons. I have no idea what they are talking about here. Are they trying to say sexuality has an intensity? Or are they trying to say that your sexuality is somewhere on this array? This array thing is really misleading and confusing. After doing a deep dive into this topic, I have found nowhere else that uses this. So let us throw this out, take a better look at sexuality. To me, sexuality is more like a backpack. And what do you use your backpack for? Try to carry your stuff with it, like your gender compass and your gender map. Your walking sticks may be too big to fit inside your bag, but then you also can't hide your body stuff. There will be plenty of stuff that we could put inside the backpack. That'll be from the next part. Sexuality is tied to the body that you want to kiss or be intimate with. It is not attraction to someone. Attraction to something else. And we'll go over that in the next part. Sexuality is focusing on strictly the pairing of body sexes and gender presentation. Some may even tie in romantic attraction to sexuality, and they may be linked, but still not the same thing. Sexuality is where the 5 categories of an individual up at. Let us walk through this. Let's start with your sexuality, which is linked to your sex, gender identity, which is also linked to your sex, gender expression, which is also linked to your sexuality, and is tied to your gender identity. This is where you will have your gender presentation and where your sex is tied to your gender identity. Where you will have your sex presentation at, and your sex presentation and your gender presentation will come together to create your overall presentation with a broken link to your gender identity. Next, you will have your romantic attraction, which is linked to your gender expression. The thing the genderbread person does not touch on is your intimate desires, which is linked to your body sex and romantic attraction. Now we have your romance, which is where your romantic attraction and your gender expression come together at, and it does tie back to your gender presentation. After that, you will have your body preferences, which is where your body sex and your intimate desires link up at, and they tie back to your sex presentation. And the last 4 points all tie back linked to your sexual activities. This is where you will develop your fetishes from, and then you will learn your kinks during these activities. You will soon find out that your kinks are also linked to your body preferences and not just your fetishes. Noting that kink is not a sexual activity, but something one might have to work around to conduct a sexual act. And finally, you will have intimacy, which is linked to your romance, sexual activities, and your fetishes. Some might also put links in there too, and that is what is in your sexuality bag. So with this information, naming or categorizing sexuality becomes more nuanced, umbrellas, or spectrum.
Why do you use them? What are they for?
Let us go over these categories of sexuality spectrums, or sexuality umbrellas, starting with heterosexuality.
Heterosexuality is the pairing of those who are opposite in their presentation, but with similar romantic attractions and intimate desires.
These pairings could be of many forms. It could be a cis male and a cis female. It could be a trans male and a trans female, or it could be one cis and one intersex. It could be a cis male and a trans female, or a trans male and a cis female. It could be 2 intersex people appearing as opposite sexes. It could even be 1 intersex and 1 trans person, as long as the pairing appears to be opposite sexes. Then it will fit under the heterosexuality umbrella. Moving on to homosexuality.
Homosexuality is the pairing of those who are the same in their presentation, but with opposing romantic attraction and intimate desires.
There are many variances of homosexuality. We have 2 cis males, which is referred to as gay. Then we have 2 cis females, which is referred to as lesbian. This brings us to the two gay trans men or the two lesbian trans women. Then there is the cis male and the intersex male, and the cis female and intersex female, the cis male and trans male, the trans female and the cis female lesbian, the two intersex individuals who appear as the same sex. Then we have the intersex male and the trans male, and the intersex female and the trans female. As long as the pairing appears to be the same sex, then it will fit under the homosexuality umbrella. The third sexuality we will be looking at is bisexuality.
Bisexuality is the pairing of those who are either the same or opposite in their presentation, but with similar romantic attraction and intimate desires, pairing within the male-female appearing dichotomy.
Again, we have many variants of bisexuality. We have all cis, all trans, one cis, one trans, or one intersex, two cis or one trans, all intersex, two intersex or one cis, two trans or one cis, two intersex or one trans, or two cis or one intersex, or two trans or one intersex. Bisexual could be monogamous or polyamorous as long as the pairing appears to be opposite or the same throughout their dating history. Then it will fit under the bisexuality umbrella. The last three sexualities tend to work on the presentation of the binary, which is where we get the concept of pastel with your gender expression or gender presentation. The next three sexuality spectrums do not work on the binary or the pastel concept. Asexuality is a sexuality that can fit under many sexualities and appearance.
Asexuality is the pairing of those who do not care about their presentation or their partners, but have a lack of romantic attraction and a unique intimate desire.
The pairing could be a male-female appearance or another appearance. It was difficult to draw out the specific pairings here, so I just looked up the various asexualities out there and found all these. Of course, you have the general asexual, which is defined as having a little or no intimate desire. Asex refers to individuals who identify somewhere on the asexual spectrum. The black stripe asexual is to exclusively have no intimate desires. Egrosexual is to have a disconnection from your intimate desires and your partner's intimate desires. Gray sexual is a limited or little intimate desire. Retrosexual are those who feel emotionally drained and have a lack of emotional connection with their partner. This grouping of sexualities fall under the black stripe asexuals, but they have a defined difference between them.
A polisexual is the repulsion of sexual activities. Heterosexual is to be indifferent about sexual activities. Bisexual is based on past trauma. And heterosexual is based on a relationship with their partner.
This grouping is based on a unique intimate desire in which their partner must meet her.
Bisexual has no internal ability to create a deep connection with their partner, so their partner will have to keep reconnecting to them. Homosexual is a favored love at first sight. If that does not happen, then forget about it. There is no second look. Autosexual is based on your own image. Procosexual is based on their partner fulfilling a fantasy or meeting the fetuses. Demisexual is based on the development of a deep emotional connection. And reciprosexual is based on a reactionary response to their partner's advancement toward them.
This grouping is based on periodical events of intimate desires.
Asexual is the occasional desire to be intimate. Monosexual is based on a weekly schedule. Multisexual is the quick onset to be intimate followed by a quick vanishing of or discomfort from. Multisexual is a periodical appearance of no desire to be intimate.
This group is a sporadical moment of intimacy.
Asexual romantic spectrum. Question if they're sexual or what their sexuality even is. And allosexual is an urgency to be intimate.
These last ones are the same grouping and would be a random moment of intimacy.
Asexual would be random spikes of a lack of intimate desires. Asexual would be a desire to be alone. Ace would be those who experience long, dry spells of intimacy, and ace spikes would be random spikes of intimacy.
And ace lux is the fluctuation of intimacy if the individual or couple does not show signs of intimacy, but they show their desire to be in a relationship, then they might be on the asexual spectrum. Asexuality will most likely appear as passive, submissive, and shy when in a moment of intimacy. However, these are stereotypes. They do not always apply to every asexual individual. Moving on to pansexuality.
Pansexuality is the pairing of those who do not care about their presentation or their partners, but with an openness to explore their romantic attraction and intimate desires.
It could appear as a male-female appearance or another presentation. Like with the asexual umbrella, I found it difficult to draw out the pairings of pansexuality, so I just looked up the sexualities that are under the pansexual umbrella. Pansexual does not care about the gender or the sex of their partner. Omnisexual will pair with all genders and sexes, but will hold to a preference. Aberosexual will appear as being fluid with their sexuality, but is often called questioning. Polysexual is someone who has intimate desires for some, but not all genders or sexes. Multisexual could be the desire to pair with multiple genders or sexes, sometimes at the same time. Sapiosexual is to be romantically attracted to someone's personality or intelligence. Heterosexual is seen as being based on the gender spectrum and that they are romantically attracted to multiple genders or sexes, but are held on a monogamous level. If someone appears to have a lack of concern over sex or gender presentation, then they would fit under the pansexual umbrella. Pansexuality is to asexuality as homosexuality is to heterosexuality, but can be mistaken as bisexuality or heterosexuality. If asexuality is passive, submissive, and shy, pansexuality would be assertive, dominative, and not shy, but asexuality and pansexuality spectrums do not get hung up with the gender presentation or sex presentation. They care more about the overall presentation. As we can see here, one's presentation is the combination of both sex presentation and gender presentation. So in an indirect way, they do care about sex presentation and gender presentation. This next spectrum, or umbrella, was made up by me. These subsexualities could fit under other umbrellas, but not very well, so I created one for them. I'm going to use the umbrella term of heterosexuality.
Heterosexuality is the pairing of those whose presentation plays on the cis dichotomy, but with a unique romantic attraction and intimate desires.
It will exclusively appear as a cis-trans pairing. Heterosexuality is again a difficult one to draw out the pairing, so I just looked up the sexualities that would best fit under this umbrella. Heterosexuality is the exclusive pairing of a cis and trans, and they like it when the difference is noticeable. Androsexuality is the attraction to masculine individuals but on an androgynous appearance. Demisexuality is the exclusive desire to be with a feminine presenting person despite their sex presentation. Gynosexual is the attraction to be with a feminine individual but with an androgynous appearance. Minisexual is the exclusive desire to be with a masculine presenting person despite their sex presentation. Bisexual is the exclusive desire to be with an androgynous or non-binary presenting individual despite their sex presentation. Homosexual is the rejection of labels, which is a bit of an oxymoron because they gave it a label. Sex indifferent might be better under the asexual umbrella, but they naturally reject the cis-hetero-norms of society, so I put them under this umbrella. If the individual seems to reject the cis-hetero-norms, then they might be under the heterosexual umbrella. Heterosexual is based on an individual's partnering history, dating history. Heterosexuals will be more likely to have a partnering history that is mainly of a cis and trans pairing, commonly seen among the transgender community. Stereotypically, transgender people will not pair with another transgender person. Does not apply to all transgender people. Here is how the sexuality would appear under their respective umbrellas by a collective overview of each. Look over this chart. Here are the first three sexualities: hetero, homo, and bi. As you can see, they are using the same 6 label, but they are arranged in the order that is most commonly the way the pairing will appear. For any sexuality, this is to hold to the pairing of a couple between a cisgender and cissex. Openness is to be open to the pairing with someone who is not cisgender or cissex. Curious is under the labeling of questioning their sexuality. Andro is a pairing of a couple who resemble each other or leaning towards androgynous. Inter is being open to be paired with an intersex person. Trans is being open to be paired with a trans. As for the last 3, asexual, pan, and hetero, we are doing over these, and these are the sexualities you might find on your journey. Just remember what you have in your bag, which is your sexuality. Something's not right here. Let me fix this. There. Sexuality is a journey. And here is the changes to the gingerbread poster. So the question here is really, what is in your sexuality bag? As far as the use of the umbrellas, they are there to help you in finding your dating pool. However, these also have become a source of protection too. What is your umbrella not? Your sexuality, nor your romantic attraction, nor your intimate desire. Your umbrella is only to aid you in finding a partner. This also does not mean that your partner will be under the same umbrella as you. Let's say this is you, and you are under the heterosexuality umbrella, and this is your partner, which could be under the bisexuality umbrella, the asexual umbrella, the heterosexual umbrella, because it could be trans and they could be cis, or the other way around. It all depends on their dating history. Your partner could even be questioning their own sexuality. Your umbrella is determined by your dating history. Your sexuality is determined by what is in your bag. None of this applies to your partner. Your partner is on their own journey. Your paths are only coming together. Your umbrella is also linked to your romantic attraction. That is for part 5, romantic attraction. Here are a few follow-up articles. And here are a couple of other videos on the topic.
Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you wanna. And again, here are my books. This big one right here, and that one right there is a textbook volume is on a particular lifestyle. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you want to know, go ahead and buy them. Definitely good information in them. And then this is my volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 of my autobiography. This is a novel that I wrote. It's good and interesting. And then this is a glossary of terms that I wrote. And I've been trying to use a lot of my terminology from my own glossary. So if you want to know some of the words that I'm using and how I define them, go ahead and buy that one. Otherwise, purchasing these will help out the channel, and I thank you.